Shalom, shalom, real motivation. Terrence McKinney back with a new video. Off top, I want to give all praises to the Most High. Today, we're going to talk about tough love. You know, when we dealing with our friends, family, kids, loved ones, sometimes we got to draw the line in the sand and we got to display tough love. I mean, we don't always have to go along with something that we know ain't for their benefit or that's detrimental to their situation, detrimental to their health. They just ain't helping them. Because a lot of times, you know, we feel like we show our support. We show our support like we want to be there for them and we want to do everything we possibly can. But that don't necessarily mean that's the right way to go about it. In some of these instances, we got to draw a line in the stand and we got to pick a side of the fence and we got to stand on that. And sometimes we got to let our family, our friends, our loved ones, we got to let them learn the hard way. And this video was inspired because of a conversation I had with a mother. In my occupation, I employ a lot of people. I probably got 30 employees right now. I say any age from 16 to 50, and anytime I usually have a parent wanting to talk to me for their kids, it's usually a minor. It's usually somebody like 16, 17, or 18. A couple of weeks ago, I had a mother stop in and she wanted to talk to me and wanted to know why her son no longer worked there no more. And the mother, I understand where she was coming from, but her son was 24 years old. And the whole conversation that I was having with her, it kind of rubbed me the wrong way because at 24 years old, I shouldn't be talking to no parent about their kid job. One nothing's wrong with her son. I could see it, you know, if he had some problems in the life where he maybe wasn't functioning, you know, where he should be, or he had any problems, or he had some mental disorders going on. I can understand that, but this was a regular. I mean, I don't mean to want to say irregular, but this was just a high-functioning kid. I mean, he interviewed on his own. You know, he did a good job in the interview. Every time I communicated with him, it was on, you know, a one-on-one basis. His mother never was brought up in the situation, but his mother was basically pleading the case because trying to get his job back for him because I guess he had another job and he was working somewhere else, and it was an inconvenience on her. Because she was saying, you know, she had to wake up at all types of hours in the night. She had to pick him up. She had to go cross town to go pick him up. She was saying that the job where, you know, where I work at was closer. Her house was right up the street. He can walk there and be there in like 3 to 4 minutes. And she was saying that he was coming home voicing some of the problems that he was facing to her. But he wasn't voicing those problems to me, and that's one problem, you know, within itself. I mean, if anything ever going wrong at work, the first place you should go to is always your boss, and try to figure those problems out and try to get to the bottom of them. But she was just talking for this young man because he's not a kid. She was talking for this young man like he was a child, like he was 16, 17, or even 18. This young man was 24 years old. And at that age, I wanted to tell the mom, like, you got to toughen up with these young men, especially these young men these days. I mean, at 24 years old, he should be, I mean, more than able to talk to me if he wanted his job back. At 24 years old, he shouldn't be depending on you, you know, to get back and forth to work. And at 24 years old, he shouldn't put that burden on you to get him back and forth from work. At 24 years old, he should be out there on his own. That shouldn't even be none of your concern about, you know, where he working at or anything. That should be those problems that he facing on his own. And we often, I done seen it a lot, you know. I mean, because, you know, now that I'm in my 40s, I done seen it a lot. The people, you know, that I grew up with, you know, who wasn't out there on their own, and wasn't doing stuff on their own, and who was spoiled when we was growing up, is the same people my age today that's struggling. And sometimes we gotta exhibit tough love, and we gotta set goals, and we gotta talk to our kids, and we gotta motivate them to get out of our house. We gotta motivate them to get their own car. We gotta motivate them. We gotta instill certain things in them, so when they get 24 years old, we ain't at a job trying to plead for them to get a job that just so it is a convenience on us. And we got to do better with that. And that's just all to it. We got to show tough love. I mean, we can't, I know we want to support our kids, and we always, want to be there in a corner and everything else, but there's a certain type of support we got to give to them. And we got to support them to where they self-sufficient, because we got to be able to make sure at any time of the day, if we was to leave this earth, that they can take care of themselves. And that transition will be easier on them to where they not dependent on us. And so we got to instill this in our kids at a certain age. We got to tell them, all right, you should be out, and especially as a man. As a man, you should be out there, working every single day, I mean, because a man that don't work shouldn't eat. You should be out there striving for your own apartment. You should be out there striving to get you a car. It's so many things that we should be drawing a focus on instead of some of the things that they do focus on. You know what I'm saying? These days, the young men in the community, the only thing they care about is smoking weed, dressing fly, and the latest Jordans. And if we got a grown man standing in our house and they focused on those things, and we not saying nothing about it, we just letting them stay in their room all day, or letting them, play video games all day, and we not setting them up for the real world, then we failing them. And we not, giving them what they need. And the whole time I was having this conversation with this lady, I just couldn't believe it. I just couldn't believe that I was having a conversation with a parent of a 24-year-old young man, especially a high-functioning young man. Because I'm at 24 years old, I was out. It wasn't no looking back. I mean, going back home would have been something that would have been my last resort. I don't care if I struggled to do anything. I probably would have slept on somebody's couch for a couple of weeks until I got my own apartment. But going to my mother's house, that's something I couldn't even imagine unless it was no other choice. And I guess growing up, seeing, my father go to work every single day and seeing my mother also go to work every single day motivated me. When I turned 18, I moved out, and that was the birthday present I bought myself. It was signing the lease to my own apartment at the age of 18. I was gone. And literally, that first day, I moved into the apartment with nothing. And granted, I went down the wrong trail, and maybe 2021, I was in prison. And then I was forced, when I got out of prison, to be on parole to my mother's house for 9 months. And those 9 months, the only thing I was focused on was, as soon as these 9 months up, I'm out of here. And that's exactly how it played out. But today's generation, we ain't doing that with the kids. And we not setting them up, and we not showing them tough love, and we not, giving them expectations and deadlines. We not telling them, like, look, if you ain't out by my house by this time, then you got to find somewhere else to go. Or we not making them chip in, and we not making them like, look, if you want to be here, look, you going to pay rent. You going to, since you in my house, you eating food, and you come here each and every day long, you going to give me something on the bills every month. That stuff right there will motivate you. Because if you paying bills at your parents' house, you're going to automatically think like, look, man, if I got to pay bills here and I can't do everything I want to do, then guess what? I'm going to go get my own place. That's going to motivate you to get out there. It ain't nothing wrong with that. I used to be against that, And I guess if you going to school and you come home and you staring with your parents, while you in school, I understand that totally. Like, you might not have the income coming in to where you should be able to pay down on bills and everything else. I understand that. But if you ain't in school, man, we got to set it up. We got to set these kids up for the next generation. Because everybody that I grew up who had it easy and had it sweet is the same adults my age today that's struggling. They struggling. They still going. They might not be with their mama, but now they just switching their mama up from, different baby mamas or different chicks. It's the same people I grew up with. You know, I mean, back then, you know, never had cars in their name. They still don't got cars in their name. They just, you know, they driving, you know, their baby mama cars, or they driving their girl cars, or they still catching the bus. And them same people still ain't had nothing officially in their name. And I think we putting a block, a barrier before them just because we coddle them the way they growing up. Instead of forcing them to be men, we giving them the easy way out just because we don't want to put them out in the street. We telling them they can always come back here. Sometimes that's the wrong message. You know, that ain't motivating your kid to get up and get out. Another way, you know what I'm saying, is okay to show tough love is when we know that somebody doing something that's detrimental to their health. If they live in a certain way, or they doing a certain thing that ain't doing nothing but causing grief in their life, and we standing by on the sideline, steady supporting them, supporting them, oh, it's going to be okay, it's going to be okay, it's going to be okay. Instead of helping them, we steady helping them continue with that behavior. That's not cool all the time either. And sometimes we got to speak up, and we got to tell them exactly how we feel, and we got to exactly tell them the truth, and we got to tell them the consequences of their actions. I mean, we gotta be real, you know. And I think today is just like such a PC generation. We scared to tell the real to the people we love because we fear how it's gonna actually make them feel, or we like, oh, you hurting their feelings and everything else. But sometimes that's necessary. Sometimes it's necessary for a person to know how you feel, you know, because sometimes that whatever you tell them, the truth hurt. Like, and sometimes hearing that truth spark change in somebody. Hearing that truth sometimes motivate you and elevate you to do something different, and then make you want to get motivated to get out there and change your life and change your course. You know, instead of giving money to the person that we know on drugs just because they telling us they hungry, and you know, but whenever they get their money, they spend it on drugs. It's okay to say no. I'm not giving you no money. No, like I don't know where you're gonna get it from. No, I'm not finna enable you to live in that current circumstance. And so, real motivation. I just wanted to bring this message because it's just been sitting on my conscience for the last couple of weeks. So please like, share, and comment. Have a great day.